What's good, guys? It's TSG. In today's video, we're going to be talking to one of the nominees for the Ethlizard Council. With me today, I have Lizident. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yo, it's good to have you back on, man. We haven't actually chatted like this in a while, so I'm glad to have you back on and hear your thoughts on all of this, because you are still, I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed since I last checked, but you're still the tied for the largest holder of Ethlizards with Jeff. Is that correct?
Yeah, Jeff actually has one more lizard when the Genesis came on board, but that's all right.
That's like,
definitely the top one. So
right, fair play. All right, awesome. All right, man, let's get into it, because I'm actually really interested to hear obviously what you've got to say and the answers you've got. So going to the first question, straight into it. As we transition from the previous idea of what the Ethlizard DAO was going to be into this new kind of GameFi VC fund version of the Ethlizard DAO, with that transition, it came along with a proposed structure for the council, and that proposed structure included a VC role, GameFi role, DeFi role, and a couple of whale roles. Obviously, I think we know the answer, but which of those roles do you think you're gonna fill if you do make it onto the council?
Yeah, and I like that proposed structure. I think it makes sense for when we're going for investments. I think there's a lot of roles that we are going to want to add on the DAO later, just not on that council. But for me personally, I'm going to go for that whale position.
Yep. Actually, I'm actually curious. I didn't ask anyone else this, but I do want to ask you your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts there? Because you do say you like this. Are you open to changing that structure at all? Are you super strict on it? Like how flexible are you with that structure?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely open to talking about it. I just think it makes a lot of sense for what we're going for, right? Like we're focused on GameFi, we're focusing on investments and then smart contracts, and then you need someone that's vested. So I think you cover all that with those five. I think if there are proposed structures, I'd be interested. But really, the bottom line for this council, I want it to be investment focused. I want it to be, the actual return. Like we need returns. The operations and other aspects of building, community building. I love all that, and we should be doing that. I just think it's outside the investment council.
Yep. No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Okay. That's an idea. Maybe considering like a separate, like you say, a community council per se, or something like that in the future.
Yeah. Because I want more community building, and I want it shouldn't just be us five, running the show,
running the whole thing. Yeah.
The whole community is here. So.
No, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to the second question, man. And this is where we're going to start getting a bit deeper into your thoughts. So the second question is, like you say, if we're going to be focusing as an investment DAO, which is obviously what we're trying to be doing, what are the things that you specifically would look for in a project that would make you want to invest? And what are some red flags, if any, that you'd want to share with us that would make you kind of stay clear from that immediately?
Yeah, so I think definitely, gonna have a textbook by my side and all the YouTube videos for okay, this is what you check off, this is analysis, and I'm sure council members we're gonna check them all off. But selfishly, personally, the thing I'm looking for is the Web 2 competitor, their market share, and then how the Web 3 company plans to take it away from the Web 2. Okay. So that is the number one thing I'm looking for. If I don't think they could beat their Web 2 competitor, not as interested. It's not just because we make money. We need to build better games. And then red flag, I would say probably the biggest red flag is just the valuation, right? If someone comes to you with a $2 trillion company and you're only getting 1%, that's not even a realistic conversation. So those would be my top two.
Right, fair play. And obviously with the generic answers like the team, all of those things that you say, you're going to knock them out. With those things, I'm actually just curious, just because I think it gives us a chance to get a bit more insight into your perspective. But if you could kind of just discuss the generic stuff, but maybe just give it in a top three, in terms of priority. Just what is the most important? Is it the for example, the blockchain that it's built on? Is it the founders networking? What is it out of the generic answers? What are the top priorities for you?
Yep. Yeah. So I'd say the number one is just the idea. What's the actual game? Is it fun to play? Can I see other people playing it? Next one is market share. Just, is there an already amazing game for this, like Modern Warfare? Do I really think that you could steal all these people that are playing Modern Warfare based on what you're offering? And then the third is, definitely the team. If I'm trying to reach out to you and it takes a week to get anything back, right? It's like, okay, come on. And that it's true. I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
But if they're communicating and they feel confident in what they're saying, they're not afraid of being transparent. I mean, that goes a long way.
Yeah. All right. Awesome, man. Okay, cool. So now let's move on to the next question. And this is the little scenario question that I've been giving to everyone. And it's a two-part scenario. One's negative, one's positive, just on both sides, both extremes. So in the first situation, I'm going to say, let's imagine that we've put ourselves in a situation where we've made very bad decisions and we are now running on limited amounts of capital, limited amounts of ETH. How would you like to deploy that if we were in that position where we have a scarce amount of capital? Would you like to kind of go gung-ho and go all into something that's high risk? Would you like to use that to maybe develop some value for the actual Ethlizards, or would you continue to invest it in a specific way? What are your thoughts with that?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, if we're on the council and we made bad choices, I'll definitely get rid of the council, definitely change them up. But really, I think it's just going back to that fundamental, what are we? I mean, we're obviously an investment council now, but we are still an NFT project. And like Bored Apes, the punks, they have a lot of value and there's no, investment analysis or value you can really extract. So I would just lean into that more, going more into the NFT space, go maybe, that loans or building a multi-sig where it's based on the NFT instead of just a couple signers. I think we could do a lot in the space.
Right. So you're saying if you were having like a little bit of ETH, like I say, a limited amount of ETH, you'd be open to actually looking into other NFTs instead of just looking at GameFi. Did I understand that correct?
Sorry, my fault. No. So like if we have a little amount of ETH, definitely switch up the council, get them out of there.
Yeah, of course.
Still invest in GameFi because I think that's the whole point of this and definitely what we want to keep going with. I just think, if we have a lot of time right before we might be going through 20 deals a month, now we can actually only afford one deal per month. Yep. We have so much time. We should use that time to look to actually build more of that NFT project.
Right.
You can't just, generate ETH out of nowhere. I think we generate ETH on the secondary sales and we get that by building. Right.
Sorry. Maybe I misunderstood that. But yeah, no, that makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. All right, awesome. So again, now let's flip it to the other side, man. And let's say that the council has done an amazing job and there's no need to get rid of them. And we now we're sitting on piles and piles of ETH, preferably in a bull market, not the market we're in now, but let's say we have an insane amount of ETH, capital's flowing out of every direction that we can think of. And there's not enough deals out there for us to actually allocate this or deploy this capital in a meaningful way. What would you like to see us do in a situation like that?
Yeah, I love this question because this is the real goal. And this is honestly where my head goes. This is just where I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. And just the comment on the bear market, actually, and I heard Santiago tweet this is like one of the best times to start a long-term thesis fund. So looking forward to that. I think it's a great time to start. But just if we have enough, I mean, I'm full set on GameFi. If we have made that much money because we're successful in picking these GameFi investments, I think we should double down, go even heavier. And until we're at a place where Web3 is almost equivalent to Web2 on the game space, I think we should be the leaders in the space. So if we have the most money, that's great. So
just keep going.
I would just keep going GameFi.
Fair play. And I'll dive in a little bit deeper because what are your thoughts here? Because in the process of all this, I was doing a bit of research and just getting more educated on this as well. So it seems like it's more likely, and from a lot of the nominees, I've heard that the goal is during this early growth phase. Obviously, we're going to be focusing on pre-seed and seed. In a situation like, and I'm going to assume, I'm not going to assume, I'm going to ask you, is that something that you align with as well, or do you differ there?
Yeah, no, seed and pre-seed, that's definitely where we focus now.
Right. And so now once we have that, like let's say in that scenario where we have an abundance of cash, would you personally open that up to Series A, possibly Series B, or would you still prefer to focus solely on the pre-seed and seed?
I mean, I think we'd honestly maybe even have separate councils for that too. Have two different teams, separate allocations of funds, because you definitely want to follow them along their capital raises. And I want to do that with the seed investments originally, but I still would want to go for those new teams that are just building, just getting started, especially because I think we're going to see that brain dump where you get a lot of Web2 builders that are coming to Web3. I don't think we should just say, oh, you're only you're in the first year. You know, it's like, hopefully it's a 5-year transition. So
yeah, no, 100%, 100%. All right, cool, man. All right, so now let's move on to the next question. And again, to be honest, the list of questions is really good. I want to say thank you and everyone else as well that did help me kind of curate these questions. For it wasn't just me that put these together. But the question I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on the team's decision to allow council members to remain undoxxed if that is what they wish?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I always go back and forth on. Like, part of the reason why I got into crypto was transparency, or that's one of the reasons I love it. Like, I hated that someone could come into a company, you have no idea their financial alignment, but the blockchain changes all that. You can see what they actually have. You can see where they're putting their money, and I think that's just so important. In this case, I think it's okay because we have enough doxxed council members. If there was nobody that was doxxed running and we were all undoxxed on the council, I think that would completely change my perspective. But seeing how it is a mix, I'm okay with it. I mean, would I prefer someone doxxed? Absolutely, but I'm okay with it.
Yep, cool. And so what is your I'll ask you, because Illinois actually proposed something really interesting, and it hadn't been proposed beforehand, about the partial doxing. So potentially having it's like a mixture of Cryptish and Illinois about saying let the community members decide with their votes whether doxing or undoxing is valuable to them, and if they do decide that undoxing is completely fine, a partial doxing could be required, where, for example, that the council member that is undoxed needs to dox themselves to the other council members, but not to the community. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think something like that should be required, or are you still completely fine if a council member remains undoxed to another council member?
Yeah, honestly, at that point, I'm okay with them remaining undoxxed. I mean, if they want to do that, I think it shows confidence and it shows transparency, which I'm a fan of. But if they don't want to, it's fine. I mean, I think the real security flaw isn't even in that. It's about the multi-sig, right? Like, how many signers do we actually have on it right now? It's like 6. How many should we have on it? It should be every single lizard, 1,500. So I think that's part of it too.
Right. Okay. Fair play. All right. So, man, you kind of ran through these questions super fast. So we're on the last. You killed him. So, with the last 2 questions, man, I'm not sure if you have watched any of my previous videos or not, but I'm very aware that you know the questions. How many lizards do you have? This is gonna be a good one.
219. And honestly, it's just because I'm 100% sold on this project. This is my only project. I have no other, like, background in anything else. I'm solely Ethlizards. Quit my full-time job to just solely focus on this. I bought family lizard trust.eth. I really want to make this a family generational wealth. So I'm, hoping to get on the council, hoping to drive it home, hoping to XR returns by a good amount. So I'm just looking forward to it long term.
Easy. Yo, I want to ask as well. This is nothing to do with the election, but I do want to ask. There's a rumor going around that because you and Jeff were going 1 for 1 trying to outbid each other at some point, right? The rumor is, was there actually a conversation between you guys where you're like, yo, let's stop and let's like make a truce? Is that a real thing that happened?
Yeah. We had the Cold War. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah. I was wondering, I was like, man, why would you guys stop? I was like, why wouldn't you just buy one more to one up each other? But then, all right, cool. So it was a truce. All right.
Yeah, it was a truce. And also, I don't think either one of us should go above like 5%. I've thought about wanting to buy more lizards. But again, any normal business, 5% is kind of your max. You're on the board at that point. I'm kind of getting close to it. So.
Right. Yeah. No, understandable. I mean, if you want to buy some, you can buy some and throw them my way. I can hold them for you. That's completely fine too. But all right, man. Yo, and the final question. What is your favorite Ethlizard trait?
Yeah.
No legendaries, nothing like that. Like just standard traits.
No, totally. Yeah. My mural back there, it's kind of hard to see, but it's a shark. The shark skin. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. No.
Combining 2 different animals and it just looks dominant and just aggressive. I love it.
No, awesome, man. Yo, all right, man. Yo, honestly, thank you so much for coming on and doing this. what's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Is it Twitter, Discord? What's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, since I am, now full-time Web3, Discord, Twitter, always feel free to message me. I always get back right away, honestly. And yeah, please message me. I want the community, need the community. Won't be able to get on without them. So hoping to just dive in.
Awesome, man. Awesome. And before we bounce, is there anything else you kind of want to leave us with? Any last words, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, just seriously, TSG, appreciate it. I like Ethlizard so much more official just with these candidate interviews. The whole candidate roster is amazing. I love seeing all the lizards just constantly going at it. The intensity is great. The teamwork's great. So I really love this community and hope I'm on the first council.
Yeah, yo, I'm so excited for this election, man. Like you say, the ballot is stacked. Like actually stacked. It's so nuts. But yeah, all right, all good, man. Yo, once again, thank you for coming and having this chat with us. Everyone that's watching, I hope you guys enjoy this type of content. The voting is actually going on right now. I believe there's 2 or 3 more days of voting. So if you haven't been caught up on all the videos, I've got a playlist with all of the not all of the nominees, with a decent amount of nominees expressing themselves, answering these same questions. So find someone that aligns with your vision for Ethlizards and decide to vote for them. But anyway, if you enjoy this type of content, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.